It was real exciting, right? Like, and then there were things that happened. I don't remember. You'll have to ask Adam. Let's see, players. We can iterate over all players. I mean, that'd be alright. Why not? Yuki nearly made second place. It's true. It was a real nail biter. Alright, so that'll break. And then we'll go back through. And then we want to, when that's completed, do the same thing, but swap these around. Okay, and this will auto balance our teams for us at the end of a match by shuffling people around. We should probably add that as an option for the game, that will shuffle teams at the end of each thing. That seems like something that would be reasonable, right? Is this the game that is like playing football? Well, it depends what kind of football you're playing. If you're playing football where you literally just punch each other in the face while running around in a dark forest, yeah, it is. And I'm not working on, the pretty levels that Adam works on. I've got my test level here with gray boxes and rainbow floors. Look how it switched me to the damn blue team. Alright, so when the match starts, it's shuffling the teams. So reset player spawn. Shuffle team should be called first, probably. So server start match. I'm going to shuffle the teams. Probably at the front here. Is there anything else to the game? That's a good question. you score goals and all that stuff. I'm working on adding more game modes where there's more things that'll happen that'll make games different from each other, such as the ball being smaller or larger, and being faster or slower, having more balls, having it so like people can hit each other or not hit each other and only use certain moves, and a lot of other things like that. But the game is pretty much all conforms to the rules of kind of an arcade soccer match, and we're probably not going to get outside of the scope of that kind of basic ball and goal and smack opponents sort of core gameplay for it. We'll be putting in other things like metagame progression and unlocks and skills and abilities and other things that'll make the game more tactical. But it's not like all of a sudden we're gonna bust out into something else crazy. We'll also be working on some new stuff, which we'll see if it gets into this update. But the practice room area is going to have a lot of challenges for single player, which will be, and maybe multiplayer. We'll see, which will, I think, be really fun. So there may be a little bit more to it, but I wouldn't guarantee it for this one. The overarching goals for the game, though, do include, if we can make more larger game types, get 24-player games going with some sort of race and other mechanics, and not like race like blacks versus whites or something, but race as in running across and chasing people. And other than that, we may, kind of the farthest future would be a single-player story-based game, but we'll see when we get there. It'll be interesting to see where it all shakes out when we are ready to go. So this is server start match. Alright, that's what we need, because we need to switch their teams before we actually spawn them. So that'll shuffle it. Okay, let's boot this up and see what it is. Okay. Good thing you specified that. Yeah, it's a game. It's a game all about race and race relations. It's going to be real controversial. We're gonna get banned from Twitch immediately. It's gonna be great. That's our marketing campaign. It's like, this game is too good for Twitch. By too good for Twitch, it'll be, this game is too racist for Twitch. And you're like, dude, but Twitch chat is like horrifying. Like, I know. Like, I have to buy this game then. Alright, so let's boot up these clients. And what we want to see is the hit switching, which is working. Alright, so everybody's on blue. We want to end the match and see our shuffling working properly. Crap, I switched him to the wrong team. Alright, everybody's on red now. Except for one. Alright, so let's see how the switching works. we all got switched to random teams, all right, but we didn't get set in the right positions. So why is that? Like, I thought shuffle teams, then net on match start, which is supposed to client reset player spawn. We're supposed to call reset position. The problem is that the team probably hasn't replicated yet by the time this reset position call gets to them. So what we're going to need to do is something else. So we call server start match, which calls net on match start, which is reliable and multicast. This is going to go to, and we'll call get player controller. Which is on our game instance to grab our actual character and call reset. So I think we're going to have to just tell this thing which team to reset on. So when we go to net on match start, it's not very good, is it? Like, it's multicast everything, but we pretty much want like an owning client sort of thing. Gosh, yeah, it's not super amazing. I mean, we could make a special call to the client to tell them what to swap to. We could also shuffle the teams earlier in the rotation, so it should get there. It's not perfect, though. Basically, before we call match start, we need to have your team swapped. The only way to guarantee that is to have some sort of RPC that happens and is reliable, because then it'll preserve order. Well, I guess we could call all the player controllers or some crap like that and set their teams directly, and then the replication will happen eventually. Alright, so we have to change the player controller to have an event, which is like team swap event. Alright. We'll just do on team switch pending. It'll be run on owning client. We want it to be reliable. The input is going to be an Dashkin Brackensec. It's just a Brackensec team. This will be new team. So what we want to do is get our, where's our replication actually coming through? I think it's on our proxy, so like our player proxy has got that because our player proxy is actually replicated. Alright, so I guess we'll need a new function here. So basically change it so that we can force override the server and the replication will catch up for us and everything will work just fine. Let's compile it. So basically I'm going to call swap team 2 in this thing on the client. And if we're already the server, it's not going to matter because the team will be identical, so we'll just ignore the entire thing entirely. And that seems to always happen with celestial events. Things roll around, and then you're like, the moon's like, nah, I don't want to come out tonight. Nope. I'm going to hide behind clouds because I'm shy. It's like, you're the fucking moon. Alright, let's compile this out. Oh yeah, I had one other thing I wanted to add. I wanted to add the shuffle teams option at the end here regardless. So let's see, shuffle teams. Default to false. Let's add it in our enums. Alright, so shuffle teams will be in rotation. So let's go ahead and generate that and throw it in there. And let's not forget our gameplay utils. Always waiting for compiling. Always. Forever. Yeah, and I really don't have anything else to say. Just waiting for compilation. Alright, so we'll set up that RPC for the switching of the teams. Then I'll overwrite it and just be like, no, I need this to change. Yeah, it can get a lot worse though. Like, if you're working on a larger project and you don't have good infrastructure set up and you have to do like full builds or just builds a ton more crap, then you're not sitting here even for, like a couple minutes like I am. You're sitting here for 20 minutes or something. It's basically like, oh, I got to compile. It's like, well, it's about time for lunch. Or I guess I'll just like go hang out in the fucking break room for 20 minutes or whatever. Alright, so what am I looking at? I need to hook up the player controller to have an event that calls that set team thing. And that is on the player proxy actor. Alright, so get local player proxy? No. Does our player controller actually have the proxy? Yeah, it's owned actor. Okay, so let's check if this is valid. And if it's valid, we're going to do swap team 2, and we're going to call force. Okay, reliable, run on owning client, awesome. So let's go to that arena level. So shuffle teams, and we need to, for every player, call swap team 2 with a force on it. So we'll call is valid, and then is valid again. And we need to call client set team switch pending, and we need to call get team. Okay, so we shuffle the teams and then we do the thing. Okay, so the other thing we need is server start match. So, okay, so if we need GM shuffle teams, we need OR on this guy. Alright, so let's take a look at what it looks like. Maybe you shouldn't do that to the ball. Alright, well, that's useless because I regenerated the code and I turned off team swap when I did. Is actually bot. Yes. Is it actually live? Yeah, and it just takes forever to actually set up a test for these things, which thankfully we even can test the multiplayer stuff locally, because it's not really even officially supported by Unreal. And I remember running stuff in when back at Molten Games when Unreal 4 wasn't released to the public and we were using it. It was a real pain in the ass. Okay, so we actually got swapped over to the team. Awesome. And flew over. It's kind of jarring and annoying, but whatever. We're not going for perfect with these game modes. We're just going for game mode stuff. And we'll make things work as we go along. This guy should be over on the other side. Sure. And we just wait for this to be done. So it should shuffle our teams, and we should be back to a 2v2. Alright, it worked. Excellent. Not absolutely perfect, but close enough for government work. So that's team switching. So we want game over when last on team. I mean, it's not a very good game option, but we'll see what we can do. Okay, so what we're going to do is this is true. Then we're going to check our team sizes, and I'm just going to say we have to have more than a couple people, so get all Brackensack players. The size needs to be greater than, the length needs to be greater than 2. Can't be only a couple people. I guess it needs to be greater than 3, to be honest. Like, otherwise, one player joins and the other player just loses immediately. It's like it's a 1v1, and then all of a sudden somebody joins, and then a random player loses. So you have to have greater than 3 people. And the idea is we want to get all Brackensack players. Get all get Brackensack players on red. So we'll get the length. So if the length equals 1, then we can end the match, and we'll just say no contest because we can. And we'll grab blues. The length, if that equals 1. And if all that is false, we're going to go back to here. So we'll see. I guess maybe we could just do no contest or something else there. Whatever. Should be good enough. Alright. So, let me think. There are some other ways that we could actually end the match. We could also have a score based on the things. He vanished. Well, I'm back. Alright, well, I think it'll work regardless. Alright, so what's the next thing? The next thing, probably let's do the air jumps, and then I might be done for the day. So, air jumps. So what I want to do is I want to have a jump counter for while you're in the air. And let's change this. So player air jumps, let's just put 4 in there. And what we want to do is we want to go to our movement logic. Yeah, our movement object. And I think we want like a jump counter. Alright, if the current physics state is not on the ground, so we want another one of if I guess we should pass in air jumps, can jump, and yeah. We should actually just do our GM air jumps. Do this all in C++ land. Okay, so what we want to do is an int m air jumps. I want to set that to 0 to begin with. So can jump. Okay, so if we're on the ground, we can jump. Otherwise, if it's going to be you, Dashkin, gameplay, no, it's gameplay utils. It's not in here, is it? It's going to be inside of the generated stuff, so it'll be game mode data, air jumps. Yeah, so Dashkin game mode data, GM air jumps. Okay, so what we'll do is if the air jumps is less than allowed air jumps, then we can just go ahead and return true. So yeah, we'll just put a comment, allow air jumps. And let's just throw it in a scope just to kind of separate it as a feature, even though it's completely unnecessary. So if we call jump, so if we're on the ground, we do this. Otherwise, we're okay. Direction. Velocity. So we have some stuff built in here, it looks like, for the wall jump. Okay, here we go. Okay, so if wall jump, we'll do this velocity stuff. otherwise, current velocity dot z is what we're looking at. It's going to be float velocity. Okay, so it's going to be this sort of stuff. What is dir.z? Alright. I guess we should add the velocity. We'll see how that feels. So we're not going to change our left and right velocity whatsoever. The only thing we're going to do is add our z. I mean, if we set our z, you're going down at super high speeds, and then boom, you do a normal jump. Versus you do a jump, but like it's like jumping in an elevator while you're going down, and you still run to the bottom. I think we want the other one where we kill our velocity. It's like a true jump with nothing to step on. And we want to say m air jumps ++ in here. So we don't have to change any code for this. It's literally all inside of the can jump and all of that. Okay, well, let's just see if it actually works. So what did we set it to? We set it to 4, I believe. So air jumps to 4. Well, we'll see if I can jump 4 times. He's not going to play his intro animations, though. So I might need to go into the in-air state, check if jump this frame is true. Inside of playing the intro anim and re-kick the intro anim or something like that. I could definitely see that happening. Alright. Let's boot it up, and hopefully our air jumps are going to be not awful. I mean, we do have the wall jump stuff, so we probably already have the code in there for something. Like, he might play the wall jump anim right now. Well, let's boot it up and see. We're not resetting our hits to 0 when we hit the ground. Alright, so update locomotion in air. Let's see, sweep movement, check if stuck, set position, can land, update snap to floor. Yeah, so it's a set physics state. Alright, so it's going to be 0, 1, 2, 3, and then it'll be 4 after it. So I need to subtract 1 from the jumps just because. Well, if we set it to 1, no, it needs to be the other. Because I have 4 air jumps, right? That means I can jump 4 times in the air, which means I can jump 5 times total. Because the first jump is on the ground. Now the other question would be, should wall jumping reset your jump counter? I mean, you're on the wall, right? Yeah, I think we might want to do that. Alright, so we'll reset your wall jumps. We'll reset your jumps if you wall jump. So you can stay in the air indefinitely with with some of this. I wonder with 5 jumps total if you'd be able to wall jump all the way across the forest level. I don't think you would, but you'd definitely be able to wall jump across Nightly Bog and Sunny Day. And I'm still gonna call that level Nightly Bog just because Mick calling it Nightly Bog was so damn funny. And the fat sack, the fat bird. It's like get the fat chicken. It's like, it's not a chicken. I don't care. Fair enough, Mick. Fair enough. But at least it doesn't look retarded. It seems like it's playing the intro animations too, which is nice. I could play like some sort of effect though. I should probably hook up an effect for it so that we can do something. So what? Oh, okay. Yeah, I got my jumps screwed up. It needs to see if you can wall jump first. Okay, so that'll do that sort of stuff. And what we're going to want is a jump effect that we can play. Because we want to know if this was an air jump. So let's just add that in there. And this will probably screw up some of our blueprints. But whatever, we'll figure it out. What is today? Today is now Wednesday. Yeah, so what we'll be able to do is spawn that air jump effect from inside of our player object blueprint. I wonder if there's already some sort of particle system I can throw in there. I think I'll just duplicate whatever we've got for the player jump at the moment and just use that. Ah, forgot the reference. Damn you ampersands, why do you have to be not blank spaces? So simple stuff, just adding in the air jump and compiling all the stupid code. Let's see, this is getting pissed off because I don't think we're doing anything with this. This is just looks like it isn't even called anywhere. Well, we call jump, but we call can jump first, and eh. I guess I should change this to else if air jump, just because.